What does substance abuse mean to you?
There's probably 40 or 50 different things that substance abuse means to me, but one of the things it means is substituting a chemical for a genuine human need. For example, a person feels lonely, they may take a chemical so that they don't experience the pain of loneliness, rather than doing the work necessary to initiate and maintain friendships.
What impact does substance abuse have on families?
It really hurts communication and intimacy. For example, if a wife is taking painkillers illegally, prescription drugs illegally, as a way of just having a mind-altering experience, she may have very little need to communicate or spend quality time with her husband.
What are some challenges you face in dealing with substance abuse?
One of the biggest challenges is the substance user loses their ability to be honest, and not only do they lie to their family members, they'll lie to the therapist, they'll even lie to themselves.
Which family member do you feel is most affected by substance abuse?
I think kids are most affected because when the adults in the house prioritize drugs over the kids, the first thing they don't give the children is they are not present to their children, which it shows the children that they're not very important. They also can neglect basic things like hygiene and nutrition.
How can families be a source of support?
Families can encourage people by focusing on separating the person from the chemical abuse, by saying that we're really for you, we love you, we're just really against the abuse, and give the reasons what the abuse is doing to the person and to the family, and then try to get the person to participate in NA meetings and AA meetings. Also try to get the person to do whatever is in their life as a responsibility, like do your schoolwork, maybe work to pay for your cell phone bill. And in that way, the more positive, healthy choices they're making, the less need they'll have for chemical abuse.
And the drug. All right. Thank you so much.
What does substance abuse mean to you?
Substance abuse is when someone is addicted to a substance, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol. Now I'm venturing more into like behavior gambling, when they're addicted to the line where they need help to stop. So they need outside services. They're not able to do it on their own. Their family might be enabling them, so they might not be able to get help from their family. So seeking outside help to get those resources and the help that they need to actually be able to stop the abuse.
What is the impact of substance abuse on the family?
The impact of the substance abuse in the family can happen in many different ways. It can be the family may be enabling the person without even knowing it, and they're helping them get the substance. It could impact them that their family is broken, that they're no longer able to maintain, let's say, a mortgage or groceries because maybe someone within the family is taking money that they need to get the substance. So it impacts them financially, emotionally, stable environment is no longer there. So,
What are some challenges you face in dealing with substance abuse?
some challenges that we face are a lot of the times the families want the help, not necessarily the abuser. So it's kind of hard to get the person to agree to treatment. So we all obviously need their consent for it, but more or less it's always the parents calling us saying that they want help, but we're not able to provide the help if the person who is abusing the substance doesn't want it.
Which family member is most affected by substance abuse in your opinion?
The user, whether they realize it or not, they're the one that's most affected. They don't realize the damage that they're doing to themselves as well as their family. And then once they finally do take that step to treatment and they realize it, it's a pretty emotional impact for them.
How can family members be a source of support?
Getting more knowledge about substance abuse itself, more knowledge about the steps you can take to prevent it so it doesn't happen, or if it already happened, what you can do to help stop it and take the next steps, as opposed to just bombarding somebody and forcing them into treatment, because that doesn't always work. So just gaining more knowledge about it.
Go.
What does substance abuse mean to you?
I think for me personally, substance abuse means that someone is dependent on whether it be drugs or alcohol, and this dependence is interfering with their daily life. They become dependent on it. They aren't able to do the things that they want to do.
What are some of the challenges and impacts substance abuse has on you and your family?
I think substance abuse has been a big part because my father is an alcoholic, and it's really like drove my family apart. Like him and my mom to this day won't speak. My dad's been 13 years sober, but I think people deal with it different ways in families, and not everyone realizes that it is a disease. So I think some of the challenges, especially when I was little, like he's been 13 years sober now, but when I was little, he wasn't always there. So like sometimes we would go to his house for the weekends and he wouldn't show up to take us. So like that was hard, especially for a child, like because it's so confusing. And especially my brother has dealt with it a lot harder, because like I think from a male's perspective, like that's his dad, that's supposed to be his role model. So I think it's been especially hard for him, like in the family.
Which family member is mostly affected by substance abuse in your view?
I believe that it's not really who's affected more, it's more of the fact that they're affected differently. Like from my perspective, like I've always known that my father has struggled with alcohol, but when I was little, there was a lot of confusion about it. Like children don't understand exactly what alcoholism is. We just see like a father that's not there, and we are confused, and it creates a lot of confusion because you want your father to be there and he's not. So I think it was hard as a kid. Now it's different because like I've learned a lot more about it, so I've been able to like forgive him. And then I think from also a parent's perspective, like my mom, she felt like sometimes she was raising another child, because like my father couldn't do anything from himself, like he wasn't keeping a job or anything. And also she felt like a single mother. Like they ended up getting divorced, so she was a single mother also, but like while they were still married, she was a single mother because my father was incapable of taking care of us.
How can family, in your view, be a source of support to like someone that has substance abuse problem?
I think family is a very important support. Family involvement in recovery is especially important, just to have that support for getting clean, and also like it's also important for families, I believe, to forgive. Like it's taken me a while up until I reached college to forgive my dad for how he was when I was little, and it's taken me a while to realize like I don't want to take the blame off of him though, but like it's not totally his fault. Like there is part of it that it is a disease, and it took me a while to realize that. And I feel like other parts of like my family haven't realized that. Like they haven't had the proper education to totally understand what addiction is or substance abuse. So I feel like educating families will be able to be a great source of support if they are educated and understand totally what the addiction is.